We were so struck by the fact that you've obviously worked with Paul Schrader a few times. Ethan, you're here with First Reformed with Paul, and that, like what that dynamic is like.
Well, we were talking about it earlier, and you know, when we're talking about working with friends, listen, Paul, I've done maybe 5 movies with him, and I'm close to him, but I only know him in work mode. I mean, I have seen him socially, but when we say friends, we don't mean like we're hanging out together by the pool, you know? Yeah. It's not like that. Paul particularly, I don't know him so well personally, but I have a huge history with him in work.
Yeah. Well, Light Sleeper is a movie that Willem did that is kind of, in a lot of ways, a spiritual sibling to First Reformed. And I remember, I knew who Paul Schrader was from Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, obviously, but really fell in love with him as a director from Light Sleeper. And I remember, I don't know what he was like when you guys, on this movie, he's 70 years old, and I don't know what part of this came with age or is just his personality. He would forget to say hello. I mean, I would walk on set and he'd be like, all right, you're over here and she's over here, and just we're right in it. And the day would end and I would want to come up to him and say something about the day, and he was gone. He would forget to say goodbye. Huh. He was just so hell-bent on, all he cared about was work.
It's funny, I think the pressure is actually higher when you're working with another actor you've worked with again. Oh. So I've done a couple of things with Will Ferrell where every time we're in the same room together, like, there they are, what are you gonna do? You're like, I don't know, we're just hanging out. It reminds me a little bit of what you just said, reminds me a lot of Laurel and Hardy, to reference one of my films. But
funny, is that why we're here?
This is actually a John retrospect.
No, but it's a true fact about Laurel and Hardy that, like, in their heyday, they made over 100 films together and they did not hang out. They were very different people. They spent their social time apart from each other. And it wasn't until they were almost retired and they couldn't get movie work and they started doing these theatrical tours, which we show in our film, that when they actually
tone it down, would you?
Desperately trying to stay relevant here.
I'll see it.
No, you see it if you want to see it. But that is a really interesting aspect.
When's it playing?
That when they were forced to be...
Let's see it right now.
When they were forced to be... Let's go to the clip. No, when they were forced to be just together on trains and hotels and just stuck in backstages together, that's when they saw the humanity in each other, and that's when they really finally let their guard down. And I think it's true of artists that work together over and over.
To answer your question about when you become friends, it's actually usually on the press tour, if it happens. Because on set, the pitch is so high and the stakes are so high for if they care about their work, that actually it's when you go take that trip to Tokyo to do the press for it that a friendship can happen. That's when it's been for me.
Got it.